What's up and welcome to Nighttime at the Nerd Bar, episode 26. We're back here on a Monday night. Woo boy.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's Mondays.
Mondays
But
are weird. Mondays are weird. And
this
that
is
means
true.
we have weird Monday energy on this show. But hi everyone in live chat. I'm sure you're used to that by now.
Yes. And if you're new, welcome. We're going to be talking Spy Family. We got gaming news. We have anime, spring. Well, we're already in spring, but May lineup news and a whole lot more. So stick around for that. If you're in the live chat with us. And if you're watching it later, comment down below. Go into some quick introductions. I'm Carrie Lane, super happy to be here. And I know I sound a little wonky. It's just, too much talking.
Life, the universe, and allergies.
Yes, exactly. And then going this way.
I'm Katie Cullen. Hi, all my buddies. And if anyone's wondering what the gaming news is, Overwatch League started again this weekend. So you're going to have to hear about that.
Yay!
Yay!
We got Giga Derek in the chat. Hello.
Hey.
But yeah, so we'll go right into. I know we're going to be pretty heavy on your Overwatch news, so I was going to say,
give me about 10 minutes.
You're like things. Okay, so we'll do the quick ones. All right. So first, news-wise, I took it down for a second. I wore there we go. It's my Doctor Who shirt.
I think this all falls under. Everyone. Oh no, I think this all falls under things we're excited about.
This is true. I feel it's
news is for news that we may not be excited about. Things we're excited about is good news. Okay. This is things we're excited about.
I won't fit of good news. Things we're excited about.
Yeah.
But yes. So there is a new Doctor has been announced, and it's Ncuti Gatwa, and he you probably have seen him most recently on Sex Education. He's super funny, and I saw the news and I was like, wait. Oh, yeah, I remember him in that role. And so I'm very excited for this new young Doctor. I did see some tweets. Some people thought, well, he's kind of an unknown, but Matt Smith was an unknown.
And also, Ncuti is older than Matt was when Matt got the part. So
ding, ding, ding. Matt was 26 and Ncuti is 28. So, but
and
yes.
Also, for those who did not know, we're also switching showrunners. Russell T Davies is returning to the show. So for those who remembered the 9 and 10 eras and were like, I missed that, we're getting that showrunner back. So we will see how things go. Very intrigued. But all in all, new Doctor casting is pretty much always good news. I think the only thing the Doctor hasn't been at this point is Ginger. And I want the Doctor to never be Ginger because that's the best running joke.
I was going to say, it's a running joke that I think we can just keep going forever.
Oh, yeah.
We also
very excited.
Yes, very excited. Shout out in the chat. We got Raab Addler says comment. I did say comment in the chat. So, you follow the instructions. I like it.
So real quick chat, you have homework and I will get to this when we get to the Overwatch League section, but I need you to either give me a color, a city, or a level of chaos. Not all three. They don't all match, but keep it in your minds. I will be assigning you teams.
Nice. And then, things we're excited about leads us into new anime, which we'll go through real quick. So Crunchyroll just released their May catalog, which I'm bringing up here on my phone, so pardon me.
Yeah, I think we both have it on our phones.
Full calendar. They'll be new to Crunchyroll along with new dubs for series already subtitled. So one thing that was pretty exciting I saw that I was like, oh, that's awesome, because it's one of those, it's not a new show, but it's nice to be adding to their library, is Trigun. It is a classic series, so good. If it's one of those you're like, yeah, I've heard about it, but I've never gotten around to watching it, go watch it. It's an amazing sci-fi Western. All the feels, action, and comedy.
That's the one I wanted to bring up because that is my favorite anime. There are very few things where I can pick a favorite. Trigun is my favorite anime, and they're adding it on my birthday.
Yes,
it's adding it on May 17th, so I'm just like, yes. I'm due for a rewatch. The sub is great. The dub is even better because Johnny Young Bosch absolutely kills it as Vash the Stampede, our main character. Yes. It's one of those ones where give it 3 episodes, see what you think. I was in love by the end of episode 1. It is absolutely my blend of comedy and ridiculous found family and action and some really
Inspirational
messed up
stuff too.
backstory, inspirational, traumatic backstory,
Yes.
some beautiful and horrifying emotional things like this. Yasuhiro Naito is very, very good at emotion. His world building
Mhm.
goes a little insane sometimes. I don't know if anyone has seen Gungrave, but he's very, very good at emotion. And Trigun
Yes.
is absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
So yes, highly recommend Trigun. We've also got a number of other well-known, like Space Dandy's coming,
Well,
Black
I was
Lagoon
gonna
is
say real
coming.
quick, if you all know me, I'm generally more of a sub fan than a dub fan, and Trigon is one of the few that I'm like, I like the dub better actually. And then yes, as you were saying, Black Lagoon is coming, which is a huge favorite of one of my friends.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet, but he's talked all about it. I'm like, okay, well now that it's being added, I'll get to watch it.
Yeah.
Um,
And if you're
yes.
looking for like Initial D is coming for those of you who have not seen Initial D, a classic.
Ooh,
And for
okay.
those who are looking for more recent ones,
My
Decadence
light
is being
died.
brought over. Your mic died?
My
I can hear
light.
you. Your light died. Oh no, you're in the dark.
It's okay.
Oh dear.
Well, and then we got for dub fans, Fairy Tale season 3 through 4 is available now. That came out on May 3rd.
Yeah, and these are new dubs for existing series. Like
Yes.
the dubbed
Ooh.
episodes are being brought.
Yes. And there we go. May 10th. So tomorrow will be seasons 5 through 6. Season 7, May 17th, and season 8 on the 24th. So go check those out on Crunchyroll.
Season 8 and season 9, it looks like. They listed them.
Yes, there we are.
Fairy Tale final season had a separate listing.
Yes.
As you do.
Actually, I just saw the somebody commented rewinding back to Trigun. I was gonna say, wait, real quick, where is it? Quick tangent corner.
Hey.
Anime Expo. I forget what year it was, but I went to a panel where Johnny Young Bosch was gonna be at, and he came up incognito. He had a wig on and like a fake mustache, and I saw a bunch of people kind of scooting to the front area to see this person talking, and I'm kind of like, okay, I'm gonna run up front too and see. And then he did the love and peace, and people were like, can you do it again? Because they wanted to film it back with our, this was a while ago. So this was with my regular camera to film it. And it was such a awesome moment. I think that was one of the earlier anime expos I even went to. And so that was just like, chef's kiss of anime nerd experience. So shout out to Johnny Young Bosch making that awesome.
He's fun. He is a fun
Very
dude.
fun. Alrighty. Are we ready for Overwatch? And I was gonna say, while you do that,
I'll always ready to adjust
my
Overwatch.
light. Okay.
I'm always ready for Overwatch. This is I may need you on comments at some point because again, chat.
I will. Yes.
Towards the end of this thing. So, Overwatch League Season 5 just started this weekend. We had 4 days of games, and for those of you who following, this, the APAC region is being delayed until I think the 20th. So we're getting 2 weeks of delay for the APAC region because of COVID precautions and COVID issues, but the North America region is still playing. And guys, it's not a bad week to be an Outlaws fan. It's a great week to be a Gladiators fan. And it's also a pretty solid week to be a San Francisco fan. Like, for most teams got at least one. We've got a couple teams that are going to have some issues and they're going to need to work through a few things, like Vancouver Titans fans. I feel ya. That's always a rough one. I say this as an Outlaws fan who had a very chaotic week. But it was so much fun seeing everyone back. It is a blast watching the pros play on Overwatch 2 and watching everyone lean in and go, so Sojourn's our brand new hero. Is anyone gonna play her? And it wound up being, I believe it was the Vancouver Titans match. Like, thank you. It was for one fight, but thank you for giving us pro Sojourn. I think the discussion point of the week, and it probably shouldn't be, because there's so much to be said about the different metas and the different hero combinations we have and how changing the tank combinations and change the fact that we only have one tank and that Doomfist is now a tank and that you can put a DPS player on tank and have them run train on Doomfist. Looking at you, Dante. There's so much to be said for the analysis. But honestly, the best part of this week was Florida. which I don't think is something I say very often. But I am now a Florida fan this season because they picked up Kariv, who is one of my favorite support players, and they picked up McGravy as a coach. And McGravy is just a lovely human being to begin with. Winners of the Dennis Havelko Award generally are. And just this is the very first time that Overwatch League has had this team made an illegal maneuver and has to redo their attack round. This has not happened before. So what we got was brand new map, Circuit Royale, and there is a rule in Overwatch League where generally in Overwatch, if there is a slanted roof, you can't put a teleporter on top of it. It just doesn't work. You can use the Maywall and put a teleporter on top of that. That is a known strategy. That is something people do. It is evidently illegal to put a Maywall on a slanted roof and then put a teleporter on top of that. You cannot use the Maywall as a workaround. And Florida did that, which meant that they basically vaulted over a roof and dead dropped onto the opposing team. That was like a 10-second fight. It was amazing. It was a 9,000 IQ play. They got the attack round. The opposing team, it might have been Toronto. I don't remember. I was too busy watching Florida and going, what are you doing? It wasn't Toronto. Toronto played Houston that day. It was Paris. You gotta feel for Paris at this point. So all of us watching this and going, that was a 9,000 IQ play. That was the best thing I've seen all week. Florida man drops out of the sky onto imported foul. And then we got a lower third from production saying that was an illegal maneuver and they have to redo their attack round. And just watching Twitter be confused for a solid 10 minutes while they reset the map, played a couple of other videos to kind of keep the broadcast going, and all of us going, what just happened? What was that? The play of the weekend probably shouldn't have been something that's blatantly illegal, but none of us knew it was illegal, and it was a blast. So even though Florida did not make it into that particular play, did not make it into the top 5 plays of the weekend video, it's definitely the top play of the weekend in all of our hearts. Thank you, Florida man. What a blast.
I'm sorry if I say it wrong. Raab? Let's know, is it Rob or Raab? Yeah. Adler says they'll always have Paris.
They ran roughshod over Paris. Paris did not have the best opening week.
No, Paris, like the expression will always have Paris.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, okay.
Just like
got it.
We'll always have Paris as a nice, romantic, beautiful thing. This is Florida, y'all. This is Florida. The Florida man memes are the appropriate memes here. And they've been a fun team to follow for a while. And this year is shaping up to be even better. I put them in my crystal ball predictions. Not sure about the over-under on that one. And for those who are not doing predictions for League, the crystal ball predictions, you had to set them before any matches were played. And it was, what 4 teams, 2 from each region, do you think are going to the finals? And I picked, let's see, Gladiators, Mayhem, Dragons, and I think, was it Fusion? Might have been Fusion. I went a little nuts with mine. Gladiators, I think, are going to be a good pick. They look very solid. Dragons are always a good pick now that season 1 is over. And everything else is like, we'll find out. We'll see. Nothing is set in stone. Everything is nuts. And we still haven't seen APAC play, and we won't for another 2 weeks. So this was a great opening weekend. I'm very excited. There's no high-level analysis to be had here. I just wanted to talk about Florida going completely off the chain. So that said, chat, have you done your homework?
No, everybody's pretty quiet right now.
Everyone's pretty quiet. Nobody wants to be assigned a team.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be assigned a team. Carrie, I'm assigning you a team.
Sure.
Give me a color or a city or a level of chaos.
Can I give you all 3?
They might not match. I might wind up giving you 3 teams, but sure.
Okay. We'll go with teal. What? Do I just pick some random city?
Whatever city you want.
Yeah, I mean, Los Angeles, I'll be boring, I guess, unless there's some other fun random one. And then Super chaos.
Okay. So your teams are the London Spitfire, who they're okay. They had a really rough season last year. They had kind of a rough opening weekend this year, but they did roll over Vancouver. They won the Bread Bowl. We thought the Bread Bowl was going to be the memes this week. No, it was Florida. So that's teal. They have kind of a sky blue thing going on. We don't have a straight up teal team. Los Angeles, you're rooting for the Gladiators. Welcome to the winning team. Let's go. I am wearing my Glad's third jersey here. And Super Ultra Chaos, welcome to the Chengdu Hunters. They are based out of Chengdu, China. Orange and black. Logo is the panda. They have a great art style. I can't wait for them to start posting match art again. Their art is adorable. And they are the proprietors of what's known as the Chengdu Zone. In season 2, when the team was added and the meta was goats, which was 3 tanks and 3 supports and very, very little variance or change. Goats was a lot of fun to watch if you understood the game at a very high level and liked watching the minutiae of techniques and seeing the dominoes fall. It got real samey real fast if you were not a very high-level analytical Overwatch person, which I am not. Chengdu showed up on the scene and went, we don't play goats. We do what we want. So this was the team that was running Widowmaker and Wrecking Ball, which for those who are unfamiliar is an intelligent hamster in a large circular mech. It's called Wrecking Ball for a reason. And they're wild. They've kind of gotten a little more in line with the meta, especially with role lock and whatnot happening. But nobody forgets the Chengdu Zone. Nobody forgets how crazy they get when they can pop off. Like, if you want chaos, you watch a Chengdu match because you never know what's going to happen. If you want to keep it stateside, Florida. Florida is our chaos team. They have proven it this weekend.
All right. Let's see. Banners. There we go. So.
Chat does not want to participate?
No, y'all are so quiet now.
Chat, no one has a favorite color. They're all just like, no one watches this.
Yeah,
you are the one person who wants this. I'm like, yes, but it's also 50% my show.
Adler says International Danger Mauve, which mentioned earlier. I'm not sure I catch the reference, but sure.
I'm not sure either, but if that is a color thing, you are playing for the Hangzhou Spark. They kind of have ups and downs. They're pretty solid. And they have bright pink and baby blue as their colors.
They're going to go with the color.
They're a fun one. Alrighty.
Yes.
Yep. Hangzhou Spark, bright pink.
Giga Derek says, last week we established I'd follow Gladiators and Uprising.
Yeah, you had a good week if you're following Gladiators and a not great week if you're a Boston fan, which included, because Gladiators in Boston, we have 3 rivalries, one of which is defunct. It used to be the Battle for LA, which was the Gladiators and the Valiant, who are both LA teams. And of course, that ended when LA moved to China and no longer plays in NA. We have the Battle for Texas, which is Houston and Dallas. And that was this weekend. And Houston rolled over Dallas. It was a great day to be a Houston fan. That was when we got Dante on Doomfist. And that is a terrifying prospect. That is a large man with a mechanical fist dropping out of the sky to punch you into the stratosphere. It's great. Doomfist is scary. And we have the slightly less spoken rivalry of Gladiators and Boston. There's no geographical reason for this. It's just they kept running into each other and they kept playing each other and it became a rivalry. And Gladiators just rolled over them this weekend. There was fight, but there was not enough fight. So again, it's a good weekend to be a Gladiators fan. We did good. We did good.
I was going to say, speaking of fighting, we had different kind of fighting for Spy Family. Transition to our other major thing of this show. Okay, I'm going to be honest, y'all. This felt kind of like a filler episode to me.
Oh, it was. But it was good filler.
Yeah, but I kind of wanted a little bit more of... I want us to be at school and I want those interactions. Like, the filler episodes where you get major character developments, those I'm all for. I didn't feel we got that as much with this. Not that it's bad, but I was a little bit like, okay, you know. Yeah. What do you
I
think,
would
Katie?
argue that what this gave us, it gave us a little bit of insight into the organization that he works
This
for.
is
I
true.
don't
This is
think
true.
we've seen as much of them
Mm-mm.
before, especially the higher level, like, oh, you haven't worked with Twilight. He's amazing. If he says he needs something, give it to him.
Yeah.
So that side of things, we got to see a little more of the organization. We got to see his reputation within the organization and the fact that so many other spies were willing to drop everything, become part of this. And we're just like, we get to go up against Twilight. We get to see how he works. We get to see his acting skills. Oh my God. Just watching, especially that one particular human just going, oh my God, it's Twilight. Like, I love this. This was
They were such a fan. They were like, "Oh my gosh, it's Twilight!"
so
Like
great.
those kind of moments were pretty cute.
Yeah.
And then his scruffy hair friend, like as he was calling
Frank.
himself, was he was funny too. If he was getting into it, that you're like, you're probably an amazing babysitter because he's like, this is what the kid wants. We're gonna do what the kid wants. And
He's
so I just
probably a terrible babysitter if you need to actually
that's
like get the kid to go to bed or anything.
oh yeah, no, you're not gonna hit bedtime at all, but you're gonna keep your
No,
kid entertained. You
this is
know,
true. This is true. He's I think that we got a little more about the agency. We got some more with Frank. I'd say that we got a little more with Twilight just in terms of like, okay, doing what the kid wants, kind of figuring things out. Like I don't think this was a huge
not a
character moment
waste,
for
no,
him.
but not huge. Yeah,
But I don't think we needed, because we had a huge character moment the previous episode when he was like,
yeah.
oh, I've grown feelings for this family. Oh boy. But
Mm-hmm.
I also think that we needed well, she didn't quite pass. Well, but there's the standby list and someone drops out every year. She's going to
Yes.
make it in. Like that was our first third of the episode. And
Yeah.
so either you do the introduction to school life, etc., which I'm thinking will be its own episode and should be its own
Yeah.
episode. You
That's
try to
what I'm looking
cram
forward
that
to.
in
I'm like,
there. I think they did the right thing in not trying to cram that in there. I think the characters needed a break and the audience needed a break. And so next week we can go right into, okay, let's go nuts.
I did
So
like
I think this was a good
your
breather.
fighting Twilight and him going, she's really good at this.
I appreciate the excuse for your not remembering any of this is that she
Yeah.
was just
So drunk.
blackout drunk.
Yeah.
So
that was cute.
I appreciated that. I think that worked out really just
Yeah.
in terms of like, how can they do this whole big thing? And she is more than 3 sheets to the wind. We found one of these 17 sail schooners and she is all of those sheets to the wind. Damn.
Yeah. And well, for her character development, we're really seeing too how much she cares about her role and about her daughter, you know,
Oh, yeah.
of just like the thought of anything happening to this kid, someone kidnapping her kid, even though it's not her kid, but how like even in her drunken stupor, she's like, nope, not happening. It's like, okay. Like it's really seeing those honest layers underneath everything.
Yeah. And just Anya leaning so far into the cover. All she wanted was to just play. She just wanted to play. Doing it in the living room probably would have been fine. And then Twilight shutting that down is what caused. God, I think his name's Frank. Isn't it like Frankie or something? Please let me know, chat. Scruffy. What's his name?
Because he kept
Frank. He does have a name. They said it more than once. My brain is just like, oh, he's not a main character. He's not one of the main 3. Cash dump. So
right.
He was the one that ended with, oh hey, no, that castle's a theme park now. It still has all the spy traps in it. It can be rented out. There's no government.
Frankie Franklin.
There. Oh my God. Did he have like a different first name and he got his nickname from his last name, or is his name Frank Squared? Is he Senior, Senior, Junior? Like what is this?
Romaji is Furanki Furankurin. Yes.
Oh yeah, no, I'm so this is more like an world thing. Is his actual first name Frankie, or is that just the nickname derived from the last name? Because otherwise, this is a Senior, 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 and Senior, Senior, Junior sort of moment.
I'm gonna go with it is Frankie Franklin. I went to a graduation this weekend, and it was Doctor.
No.
They're telling a story about a doctor whose last name is Doctor, so it's Doctor. And I'm like, whoo! I'm like, for real? This is really kind of funny,
That's
though.
an 80s comedy is what that is.
So don't
That
laugh.
is so, and I mean, if it's a last name, like, okay, that's a last name. But like when it's the first name, your
Their
last name is
title.
Franklin, and no, I'm
Yes.
looking
Oh,
at
yeah.
Frankie Franklin
Frankie.
right
Yeah,
here.
that
Like,
one is a bit.
really?
Yeah.
You named your son Franklin.
Yes.
Okay, Frankifer. All
But
right,
it's
cool.
Frankie. It's not short for anything, so it's different enough.
How do we know?
Well, it doesn't say a full name and then abbreviated per wiki fandom things.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But again, I'm looking at what is the like in character explanation for this madness?
Oh, okay, there we go. Adler in the chat says a totally nondescript West German name. Sure.
I feel like that's Attack on Titan things where they keep trying to like come up with German names, and then we get like Reiner and Berthold, and those aren't too bad, but some of them are like, all right, there's a few wild orphan naming rooms. Oh no. Just Frankie. Oh my god. But yeah, Anya probably would have been happy just playing pretend in the living room. And drunk Frankie was the one who just yes-anded everything. And then it went nuts.
I want to go to that castle. It looks so cool.
I do too.
I'm like, wait, this is a real place? What? No, it's an anime. It's not real. Sad face.
Me over here going, I'm very sad that they closed the castle tour in Disney Tokyo Seas because that was a straight up villain tour. That had an animatronic of the Horned King telling people they were going to hell. Like,
is it like done, or they closed?
Oh yeah,
for COVID?
No, it's done. It's the attraction the attraction couldn't be retrofitted to fit earthquake standards, so they closed because it was underground and it was they closed that. As far as I know, the one in Paris still has an underground walkthrough that includes a whole ass dragon. So
that's cool.
Yeah, the Disneyland Castle walkthrough is cute, has some fun special effects, but it's like, it's there. The Paris one has a whole ass dragon, and the Tokyo one was, of course, amazing and no longer exists. It was also kind of a hard sell to guests because who really knew what the Black Cauldron was? It was not the most popular animated movie. Straight up terrifying. Not the most popular.
And then
there's a Defunct Land video on it. If anyone wants to know the whole story, Defunct Land on YouTube does amazing stuff.
I was going to say, I feel anything else that popped up in the episode, because that's what I mean, of like, there's not a whole lot because it was so much of this elaborate event. And I'm like, that was the main thing that happened.
I mean, the early part, there's stuff worth talking about. He's
I like the headmaster guy. What? Right. He's
something else, master or something, head of something.
One department area.
Yeah, taking them aside and going, here's the Black Cauldron. I remember bits. Yeah, like the guy melting that they cut out, because they cut that out. You can find the cells. Me and my weird Disney trivia. Anyway.
I like that he cared enough about this family to tell them and everything.
Yeah, and also the comment about I may not still be teaching at this school by the time she's admitted because I definitely punched a man who needed punching. And then just the, Twilight thinking, well, if that guy's going to be a problem, we have ways of taking care of him. And Lore thinking, thinking, I can't kill an innocent man in order to get my daughter into school, but just entertaining the entire fantasy. Just like
we got another one real quick from the chat. Adler adds, I was sure that Black Cauldron was just a childhood nightmare till I saw it again in 2015 on YouTube.
It exists.
Yeah, housemaster. There we go. Because I think he's not the headmaster, but he's housemaster of maybe one of the different houses.
I don't know if we've met the headmaster yet. Because all three teachers that we've met, they were all like teachers or head of a dorm or something, but they weren't like the closest we got was the jerk was a nepotism hire because his father was the previous headmaster.
Yep.
So I don't think we've met the head of the school yet.
I don't think so.
But yeah, just to get
and that mosquitoes are the most dangerous things in the world, so it's okay that you killed that one so violently.
part of me is like, and the other part of me is like, yeah, I bet malaria exists in this world.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yikes.
It's a little bit of a stretch, but okay, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay, sure.
It was very much the excuse given for this is why you were not immediately disqualified for that maneuver. It's like, here's the PR spin.
Yes.
Because you made all of us kind of sit here and go, oh, we're educators first, and we've all forgotten that. Except for this guy in the middle. He's just a dick. But like, oh, I am an educator. That is what I'm here for. That was my purpose. That was my calling. And I have forgotten it in the trappings of everything that this is, the pageantry. And that it's like watching someone have that moment of, oh, right. I did have goals and hopes and dreams for this. This was my calling before I forgot it for all of the fancy trappings. It's just like, I love stuff like that in media. That's fun. That's fun. Your mic is off.
Yes, I put that on mute while I was drinking my tea there. So I'm like, hold on one second. So I think we got a joke here. I like this. Lloyd, I want you to, saying, I want you to meet your mother. Anya. Lloyd, mama who? Your mother. Your mama. Ha, your. See a golf clap there. All right. I feel I make really bad and sometimes good puns on here. So you know what? We appreciate cheesy jokes.
We do appreciate terrible puns. I myself am a connoisseur.
Yeah. So I like that they care. I liked the realistic idea, though, that she didn't get in because she isn't necessarily such an academic. Yeah. And that's like, all right, you're on the wait list, which, all right, then that's a real thing. But how all of them were so disappointed, like, no, we failed. Oh, and all the bad luck at the beginning of the episode. That was very funny.
Yes.
Too. I stepped in poop, and it was blurred out, too.
Yes. Just like, that's the moment of, okay, this is a Shonen Jump gag manga. Just one of those, like, it doesn't always show its pedigree as, like, specifically a Shonen Jump flavored manga, but that point was like, oh, yeah, no, we know where this was published. That's not a bad thing, just, you know, a flavor.
Yeah, and the black cat, and that was cute.
Oh my god, the cat. The cat is adorable. I'm forever distracted by cats in anime. It's like, why is Trigun your favorite? Kuroneko-sama.
Kitties.
Yeah, kitties, just kitties forever. I watched my roommate is a cat, and oh boy, that's a show.
Is it a good show?
It's a good show. It put up the tangent corner.
All right, hold on.
Put up the tangent corner for me, please.
Here we go.
This is how you know we didn't have a hell of a lot to talk about for Spy Family.
It's okay.
My roommate is a cat. I watched it on Verve, which means it's probably on Crunchyroll at this point. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I haven't checked. It was billed to me as some flavor of comedy of a guy who's kind of a shut-in and an author adopts a cat, and he's never had a cat before, and the cat's a stray, and they kind of got to get used to each other. This is a show that opens up at our main character's parents' funeral and goes from there. So yes, there's some stuff in this show that's absolutely hysterical, and the show makes a point of the first half of the episode is from the human's point of view, the second half of the episode is from the cat's point of view, internal monologue and everything. So you get to see life from the viewpoint of a feral cat, how she came to be here, what she left behind, and you get this young adult dealing with the loss of his parents and the resulting grief and agoraphobia and trying to figure things out. So yes, there's comedy in there, but also like I cried more than once and nobody warned me. So My Roommate is a Cat is a great show, but do not go in unprepared because, oh boy, I was not expecting that. But yes, definitely watch that. Very good quality. Great if you love cats.
All right. And then similar to our tangents, Millie Thompson,
yeah,
Best Girl,
I was always
Best
a Millie girl. I feel you on that one.
There we go. Let's get back to our...
So many tangents. This entire episode is a tangent. This whole recording, this is all a tangent.
Well, it's appropriate. Like this episode, some of it has focus and some of it goes all over the place.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that. But I did like that
mm.
we just kind of went a little nuts so that we could give the next big plot beat. And again, I don't
Yes.
know if this part happened in the manga. I don't know if this was a couple manga chapters or what,
Mm,
but I appreciate that we had this spacing so that
breather.
the next episode, yeah, a
Yep.
breather, and then the next episode and the next chapter of this, the next big, she goes to school, she meets new people, etc., is given a full episode and time
Yes,
to
I need a
breathe
full
and
one.
expand on
Yep.
that. I don't think it would have worked as well if it had been shoehorned into this one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a little fillery, but it was a really fun break, and I spent a lot of it just laughing my face off. The quiz was hysterical, and him like, what does she want? Like,
Yes.
do I know her as a person?
What do I
does she
want right now?
Well, I'm a little thirsty, so I guess I want water. Like, oh my God, she is such a child, and that's
Yes.
so well written.
I like that you
Just-
said, I know it was a descriptive word, but I like that you said fillery. And I'm like, it's the magicians. We're going to go to fillery. Any magician fans out there?
Not me,
but
but
yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah. It's a really fun show. I'm gonna wait. Hold on. Oh, no, not that. If you have not watched The Magicians, it's the sci-fi show. It's already out, so you can watch the entire thing. Think Harry Potter. I hate that description of it just because that feels too generic, but it's them in college, which I appreciate, not just high school kids, college students, actually almost more graduate level age, because like nothing against high school focused shows, but it's refreshing to have another demographic. Fantasy, more on the adult side of humor and topics, sexuality and substance and life stuff. But it's really good to be able to go through all of it. Maybe some of it goes a little wonky for some people, but overall I felt it was a really cool show. Anyway.
And it's nice to have like casting college age people and have them playing college age people and not high schoolers.
Yes, and pretty darn.
I see you, CW.
Yeah,
and everyone.
Also pretty good on the ethnic variety of cast too, of not having just an entire
group of white people.
Cast. Yes, so I like.
You can say group of white people. We know. We know. We know.
And I've interviewed them all too, and they're all like fabulous people in real life too, which is always nice.
Great.
We meet them. So you can find that if you go find my YouTube page. I've made a playlist. But anyway, I feel we're done with Spy Family that we'll get into.
We've pretty much gone over it. It was adorable. It was a great Lloyd episode. It was good to see a little more of the spy organization and just that joke at the end of, are these the right numbers? These numbers are correct. I get the feeling we are going to see, I don't know who she was. I'm sure we had a name. And again, I just cash dump names like crazy when I'm watching things. But I'm sure we're going to see more of this like female director. I love her. She's great. I am sure we'll see more of her. And I'm very excited for that.
Yes. It's always, I like seeing the behind the scenes people too, of them not knowing what,
bunch of fanboys. It's great.
And then, yes, there we go. Looking at the chats. Lloyd Man. The fact that it was Lloyd Man and it's Lloyd like Man. Bond Man. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's such a cute. Yep.
Good stuff. It's just, it was ridiculous. And it was a good ridiculous though.
And then this is back to we're getting into things to recommend. And I'm like, oh yes, I do know this one too. Read or Die TV show. So Spy Family brings it to mind and would recommend to anyone who likes books. Do you know Read or Die? It was also listed as ROD. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
It's been a long time, but I watched a bit of it, and I would describe it as like people who can use superpowers, but it's connected to books and like paper. So essentially you can telekinetic move paper stuff and other things, and strong female characters lead the show, and it's really kind of a cool one. I'm not really sure where you watch that one now, but it's a good one.
I'm sure it's on the streaming service somewhere.
Yeah, Giga Derek said I spent years collecting the DVDs for ROD. Yes, that was throwback. All right,
$30 a DVD for 3 episodes.
Woo,
yep. We grew up in that era.
Yep. All right, now into the last chunk of our show on things you should check out. So this is stuff we've been reading, watching, checking out that we think you should check out, which thank you for the suggestions from the chat. And if you're watching later, again, comment down below things you're currently watching. Uh,
I kind of want to do
Hmm.
a brief spoiler-free review
Yes. Oh
of
yeah.
Doctor
Mhm.
Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, because I did watch it this weekend, and I had fun going with my roommate. And the thing is, we kept talking about it afterwards, and she pointed out like it was good, but the more we thought back on it, the better it got. And then I had
I
another
always love
friend
that.
point out, that she really didn't like it on her first watch when she
Interesting.
saw it earlier this weekend.
And no
Went to
spoilers,
see it
anybody.
again.
No
No
spoilers.
spoilers. No spoilers. I mean, you can't spoil me. I've seen it, but I'm not going to spoil anyone else. But she went to see it again today and found that she liked it a lot more now that she kind of knew where things were, knew where things were going, knew what was planned, etc. The weird, wild thing about this movie, it's not that it's a multiverse movie, it's that it's a Sam Raimi movie. And for those who, but what intrigues me here, I kind of want to know what the XY axis is on people's opinions before familiar with Raimi's work, unfamiliar with Raimi's work, and familiar with
Mm.
comics, unfamiliar with the comics. Because there's definitely a
Mm.
few things that were nods to comic fans, but
Mhm.
executed in Raimi's style. And for those
Gotcha.
who are not familiar with Sam Raimi as a director, like his most recent theatrical movie before this was actually Oz, which was kind of stripped of his style. And before that, it was Drag Me to Hell. The superhero crowd knows him for directing the 3 Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. However, the only things we spoil here are Milk and Anya, and not even Milk. Come on.
Yeah.
Just the girl. Just the girl. We love her.
Yeah.
Sam Raimi cut his teeth in horror. Sam Raimi is a horror director. If you have
Yes.
ever heard the phrase The Evil Dead, that is Sam Raimi. And if you have not seen a Sam Raimi Evil Dead movie or a Sam Raimi horror movie, Multiverse of Madness will catch you off guard because Sam Raimi has a very specific, particular style. And he
Right.
didn't get to use it as much in the Spider-Man movies, and he
Mm.
very much uses it here. Like, if you remember Spider-Man 2, the scene in the hospital where they're trying to remove the tentacles from Doc Ock, and it goes very horror movie, the camera shifts, it's very campy, it's very bloody. That is the most Sam Raimi that any of the Spider-Man movies get. So this movie, if you're not familiar with Sam Raimi's style and you are expecting a Marvel movie, it's gonna knock you off guard because this is a Marvel movie at its surface and a Raimi movie in its bones. There are some things that I thought were well executed. There are some things that I thought weren't well executed. There is a lot in here where, if you haven't read any preliminary reviews, they actually don't spoil one of the main things in the trailer. And so I can't talk about one of the best things this movie does, character-wise, because it is a spoiler. And those who have seen it know that the villain of this movie was fantastically executed. This actor is at the top of their game in this movie. This was very, very well done. Raimi gets nightmare logic. That is correct. That is absolutely correct.
And then did you see this one too? Raimi has given me my favorite emotional scars.
Yeah. Honestly, if you haven't seen
I do
Evil
have a
Dead the
quick
musical,
question.
my favorite iteration. Yeah.
Not a spoiler thing, but did you watch the What If series?
Yes. I did not like it.
Do you know if the episode with Doctor Strange is at all involved because it shows that version of him? From just my understanding of the trailer? You don't need to have seen it?
It's divorced from What If.
Okay,
What If
not
is a
connected.
very fun concept, and they're one of the concepts that appears in one of the episodes of What If also appears in the movie. However, if you haven't seen What If, you're not missing anything. It doesn't pull directly. You do want to have seen WandaVision because, as we all know,
Yes.
Wanda is in this movie. So,
Okay, good to
yes, I thought it was okay when I saw it in theaters. The more that I think about it, the more I enjoy it. I will be watching it again. It is very much a Raimi horror movie, so if you don't like horror, you might have some trouble with some sequences. The camera work is phenomenal because it's a Raimi movie. And there are some things, Raimi makes the camera into a character. And those who have seen Evil Dead know what I'm talking about with those extremely long through the window tracking shots and just the movement. And he's able to bring that back here. Like, there are some things that could have been tightened up. There were some things that were a little weird, but honestly, I enjoyed it. And the big divisive part that people are very much love it or hate it, like, it threw me because it was extremely Raimi in a way that I was not expecting. But that big divisive part, I kind of look back on it and go, that was real fucked up. I kind of liked what they did with that. That was fun. So, like, Multiverse of Madness is a wild one. I cannot, in good conscience, recommend it to everyone if you are extremely squeamish when it comes to horror, or if you are, again, there are some things I can't say without spoiling it. Familiarize yourself with Sam Raimi's style, but there are a few things where if you really don't like Raimi's style, you may not like this movie. If you don't like Doctor Strange, why would you even watch this movie? But
That's fair.
If you kind of just want to lean back and see what Sam Raimi does and get some popcorn and get some soda and have a good time, like, this movie is absolutely buck wild. And also, America Chavez is perfect. We love her. She's brilliant. I cannot wait to see more of her. And between her and Kate and, oh my God, I'm missing names and I rattled them off earlier today. We're basically setting up Young Avengers in the MCU. Piece by piece, we are setting up Young Avengers, and I'm very excited. So yeah, I like Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. If you are worried about it, it is worth it to look up a slightly more in-depth but mostly spoiler-free review and kind of see. Because this is very much your mileage may vary, and your enjoyment will not be the same as mine. So yeah,
I was going to say,
said, my recommendation, if you can handle horror movies, Evil Dead 2. Don't watch the first Evil Dead. Well, you can if you want, but Evil Dead 2 is the best execution of the premise. Did you have stuff to say about Doctor Strange before I went to...
Yes.
Please say the Doctor Strange stuff.
Actually, well, it's adjacent. So no, it was more of another Marvel show. But I was going to say, is Evil Dead 2 the thing where he does the bounce thing with the lamp?
What?
Or is that in the third one? It's in the first. I think it's in the second. There's a part where he's going nuts in the cabin. He looks over and there's like a lamp, and he kind of like bounces and it mimics him.
Yeah. That
my
scene.
funny story
Honestly,
with that
the scene that I remember from the thing that I remember the most from that is the elk, the taxidermy.
Oh yeah, on the wall.
Laughing.
Well, it's more. When I was in high school, somebody had that on in like one of the clubs I was in, and I was like, this movie's really weird. And then
How
I'm like,
did that get approved?
Well, we were like, I don't think we're allowed to be doing it, but we did it anyways. And I was like, that's so weird. And then that moment where he does that goofy thing, and I'm like, oh, this is essentially more of a horror comedy. It's just bonkers. Yeah. But it was like that moment that I'm like, what is going on? And then that switched it for me. But anyway,
Bruce Campbell is a fantastic physical actor. He is a lot of fun to watch.
Yes.
There's multiple reasons I'm recommending Evil Dead 2 instead of Evil Dead. And it's because I personally am more of a horror comedy person than a hard horror person. And even Evil Dead 2 does a few things where I'm like, oh, that occurred. But it doesn't have that one thing that Evil Dead does. If you know, you know.
Yes.
The one thing that Sam Raimi regrets doing. It doesn't have that. And the other thing is Evil Dead, Raimi's first feature, very much a student movie made on a student budget, and is with student filmmakers. It was evidently miserable to make. It was cold. There was no electricity. The scene where the camera goes through the window, they actually broke a window, and that was actual glass flying at the actress. Like, there was some wild shit on that movie. It is a good movie, but again, it has that one thing that requires content warnings that Raimi regrets doing, and it's rough. It is not a hopeful movie. It is it's a great horror movie, but it's also like, oh boy, that was an experience. Evil Dead 2, it's kind of a sequel, but it also retells the story slightly differently. Similar characters, kind of cut some, keep some. Yeah. But it is also a horror comedy bent. So there's definitely a few things in there that are creepy and or downright scary, because this is Sam Raimi, and it's also just cartoony buckets of blood everywhere because it's Sam Raimi. But it also does some incredible hysterical things, some extremely quotable lines. And again, Bruce Campbell is an amazing actor, a fantastic physical actor. A lot of his physical comedy comes to play in this movie. So if you're here for horror and you haven't seen it yet, definitely see Evil Dead 2. Army of Darkness is its sequel, and it is far more comedy than it is
Yes.
horror. It's still there, it's still fun, but like if you're looking at Evil Dead stuff, Evil Dead 2 is the pinnacle of this trio. That is the best movie of those three. If you're not here for horror, Jenny Nicholson has an amazing YouTube channel, and she talks about a lot of Disney stuff, and she's hilarious. You should watch it. She has a 2.5-hour video about the Vampire Diaries, and it's one of the best things I've seen.
Pivoting on Marvel and different flavor of Marvel, finished Moon Knight, and if you all haven't watched that, I do recommend it. I like that it was. It's one of those. I love Marvel, and I like that they're doing different things now, because I know some people weren't as happy with some of the more recent films or something, because it's like it's different. It's like, yes, but we've already had so many that are same tone. It's nice to have something very different. So I like that Moon Knight was very different, also very leaning a little bit on the horror side and violence. Like it's more realistic, someone getting shot or blood and stuff like that. But there's some really cool stuff. Also, if you're into anything of Egyptian mythology, it's amazing.
It's a fun time.
Watch it and pay attention, because there's a lot of weird little Easter eggs along the way. That one's a really good show.
Moon Knight is also one of the better portrayals of dissociative identity disorder that I've seen in media. Yes. And I am not an authority on that, and I'm not going to pretend to be, but it does it a lot better than like horror movies that use it as a gimmick, or this person has like PID and that makes them evil, which is not the case.
Yes.
So it's, in terms of it being a Marvel show and also a portrayal of dissociative identity disorder in media, as far as I know, and as far as I've been told, and as far as I can see, pretty solid one. Fairly, it treats it respectfully.
Yes. Stick with it, because a lot of that gets revealed as it goes on. It's not that long in the series, so there's that.
It's 6 episodes. I was in it to win it from episode 1, but like... It's fun, y'all. It's just fun.
Actually, and then there's a lot of comedy too. So,
and also Layla is the best character. Fight me.
Oh my god.
We don't get Layla until I want to say episode 2, late episode 2, early episode 3.
A little bit later.
But like, she is the best character. Fight me. She's amazing.
She is. I was like, anything else? Well, I'm almost done with Ted Lasso. I talked about that last week. Still highly recommend it. It's on Apple Plus, so I know not everybody has that one. Still a really good show. And I just started, and I know it's been out for a while, was The Morning Show, because since I was on that platform. Interesting so far. I have experience working at a news station, so it's interesting. This is a different type of news show than what I was experiencing, but it's still just kind of cool to see this behind the scenes. It's a different kind of drama, but side note on that, if you're interested in that kind of a story, Newsroom on HBO is phenomenal. Like, that is an amazing show. Definitely the first season, and then I don't know if I finished the second, but that one's over on HBO. But anyway.
If you're watching Morning Show, have you seen Morning Glory?
Not yet.
It is. Oh, it came out like 7 or 8 years ago. It's a movie.
Okay.
Harrison Ford, I can't remember who plays our main character, but she's wonderful. And it's basically a producer who is hired to produce a morning show in New York, and it's just a gallivanting disaster, and she has to fix it up. It's one of those.
I remember when that came out, but I didn't see it. Let's look at the picture.
It's one of those like relatively chill movies. It's just kind of an experience. I kind of liken it to Chocolat, where it's like there's not really a villain, there's just circumstances. It's a life story. Like, I really enjoy it. It's one of my just sit down, put it on, and have a good time for 90 minutes movie.
Good. Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun. It's not a hard-hitting drama or anything, but it's great. And watching Harrison Ford just being a curmudgeon who hates everyone is hysterical.
I think I maybe did watch it back then. I just don't really remember it. Like, the more you're describing, I'm like, I probably did when it came out, but
It made an impression on me because I like that kind of fiction where it's just kind of like not necessarily slice of life. Well, it is slice of life, let's be real, but there's a little bit of a bent to it. I kind of enjoy those day in a life, no one big villain. It's like I like that kind of fiction. And there's not a lot of it that isn't some form of like overblown romantic comedy or really depressing drama. This is that sweet spot, and it's hard to find things in that sweet spot. Like I said, Chocolat is another one that I really enjoy for that same reason.
Actually, speaking of anime and recommendations on that, I was like, wait, I wonder if I can kind of show it. Blend S, y'all. If you want a feel-good, no real problems show, Blend S is your show. It is a girl who gets a job at a cafe, and she just has kind of not a resting bitch face, but she just kind of has a very more serious face. But all the workers at this cafe are a type, and so she's more that type. And like they have the older sister type, they have the cutie type, Lolita type, and it's just really funny of just her getting a job there. She's like, wait, people want me to be mean to them? They're like, yes, that is what they're there and they're paying for. And nothing gets ever too, like, there's no major problems. There's no villain. It's just their day in their life. It's just really kind of goofy and funny.
It's a
sitcom. Very feel good. Yeah. I highly recommend it. It's just so cute. If you just want something like, I just need some cute fluff, Blend S. I think that should be on Crunchyroll. But yeah, highly recommend. Very fun.
If you want an anime that'll make you feel good in conjunction with that, I'm still watching Ya Boy Conming. Everyone needs to watch Ya Boy Conming. It's just getting better. There's like 7 or 8 episodes out at this point, and it just keeps getting better. And I made my roommate watch a couple episodes with me last night. She's like, yeah, I really see why you like this. I'm like, isn't it amazing? Isn't the music so good? Don't you love these people? This gaggle of nerds. Aren't they wonderful? Again, just that sweet spot of like, there's never anything horrifying. There's no one villain. There might be later on down the line in Kong. Maybe it's an ongoing thing. But like, it's just good. It's just good for my soul.
Those kind of shows are nice, which I feel we could talk about them all night long.
We could. We could have a special episode where we sit here and go, this makes me feel good. Here's my feel good media list.
It's like a good feel good playlist, a different kind. Yeah. So thank you everybody so much for joining us. If you're new here, welcome. Comment down below on the stuff we talked about. Give the video a thumbs up. Click the subscribe button.
Let me assign you an Overwatch team.
Yes. Katie, where can they find you online to talk more about Overwatch?
I am going to make fetch happen, goddammit. My apologies to everyone who followed me at some point during the last 200 days, which were the Overwatch League off season, because we're back on, baby. I'm Katie. You can follow me all over the social medias, as well as on YouTube and Twitch at Kiaxet. That's right here, Kiaxet. Been a while since we've had any activity on anything that isn't really Twitter, but there's a lot on Twitter right now. We're having a very, very good time. Please join me. We have fun here.
Yay. And then Giga Derek says, feel good playlist sounds fun. All right, we'll maybe compile something of feel good shows, because you just need a feel good thing.
If we have like an off week, if we have a week where Spy Family isn't airing, or it takes a break that isn't its big mid-season break, like we'll do that then. That'll be fun.
All right.
Yeah.
Alrighty. And you all can find me online at Carrie D Lane. That's KARIDLANE. We've already talked about it before, but like if you're very late to the party, there is the Journey movie red carpet interviews here on Fanversation, and also the movie Belle is coming to DVD, Blu-ray, and all that very soon, as well as I think there's a soundtrack release recently, so you can check out our interview with the director at the Animations Film Festival, also here on this channel, and a one-on-one interview too. So go check those out. I saw those. I was like, it's such a good movie. Go see Belle. That's the other one too. Go watch that movie.
We're just going to recommend everything to you guys tonight.
Right. We're just going to keep going.
It's gonna be great.
It's
so good.
All right. Well, thank you again for joining us, and we'll be seeing you next week. Take care. Bye.
Bye.